Give me what I want. Give me what I want. You know what I want. Give me what I want, or I'm going to continue to hurt people you love. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. You know what I want. You just don't want to give it to me. Give it to me. Give me what I want.
We're going to give you what you want.
That's not what I want.
What's up? What's up? AWA Aaron Warder, man. What's up? Episode 75 of It's All About Wrestling. 75. Guys. Yes, the 75th episode of It's All About Wrestling. All right, yeah. So if you're into wrestling, this is a channel for you. 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. All right. This is a channel for you. Are you wrestling fans? Yeah, so if you're into wrestling, this is a channel for you. Subscribe if you're new. Smash the like button down below, please. I'll show you my face in a few. Share this out with your friends, colleagues, all over social media. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and now the newly highly on the rise, huge rise, Threads from Meta. Finally, yeah, so share it out there. And you know what? That just gives me an idea. Maybe I should share this on Meta too. On Threads too. Thank you for the idea. So just give me a minute before I All right, here we go. I'm going to share this on Threads. Here we go. Talk. There we go. All right, there we go. It's Hey, Degrassi, I know you're listening. Say hello. Economy. There we go. That's how I spelled that name. What's up? So yeah, I did send invites. You want to come on? You know what? You want to come on, buddy? You know, if you're there, you're always free to come on. Yeah, okay. So yeah, it's all about wrestling, man. All about wrestling. Oh, excuse me. Wow, what a big cough. I'm sorry, that came out of nowhere. There's no sports tonight. Sports are basically, this is a sport this week. It's basically the four of the major sports taking a week off because baseball is an all-star. And there's all-star break. And there's Wimbledon going on, but I've only been paying attention a little bit. But okay. Let's get on with this. A lot of things to get to. We're going to look at a brief description, okay? Of what I put down. A wrestling wiki review. we also got a bit of a Raw update for tonight. I'll let you all know. I don't have it in my description, but I'll tell you about it later on. A wrestling week review, and we're going to talk about the segment, that 40-minute segment, the 45-minute segment on SmackDown, the Madison Square Garden with the Bloodline. Yes, kind of old school in the Attitude Era, where the Attitude Era, the first segment was pretty much like 25 to half an hour. This opening segment on SmackDown was about 35 to 40 minutes long. And then the it wasn't even finished yet. The part of the storyline, they had another segment at the end of the show. And we're going to talk about that. And you think you know what I'm talking about. Now we're going to talk about more rumored SummerSlam matches. Like Rhea Ripley's potential opponent for her title on Raw, on the Raw brand. Okay. Yeah, and also Edge has returned to WWE. What does this mean for Edge? What does this mean for Edge? What does this mean for Edge? What's the plans for Edge? Is there SummerSlam plans for Edge, or just something major for him to do leading up to SmackDown, which will be in Toronto after SummerSlam? Something for him to do there. And was just to make Grayson Waller look good in the loss? Was that the reason why he was there? And who is going to be the partners for the Elite and the Blackpool Combat Club for the Blood and Guts match, which takes place in 9 days, July 19th? Who is going to be the Elite's fifth partner, and who's going to be the Blackpool Combat Club's fifth partner? There's potential rumors about a certain Japanese superstar who has a long history with Kenny Omega. And we're gonna get to that. So what's going on with the Judgment Day? We're gonna talk about that. As you see, there's things going on between Priest and Finn Balor, evidenced by Raw and Money in the Bank. Well, I don't know what's going to lead to, what's going to happen. What does it mean for SummerSlam? What does it mean for Seth Rollins? Also, we're going to talk about Kevin Nash's thoughts, his controversial take on LA Knight being a whip-off of Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Rock, and why, in my opinion, why this shouldn't be an issue. This shouldn't matter. Why people shouldn't really talk about it. It's only being talked about because Kevin Nash said it on his podcast. But this is not really, in my opinion, it's not really a big of an issue because it's wrestling. In entertainment, you know what? Let's talk about this first, okay? Let's talk about this first. Yeah, LA Knight has been red hot over with the crowd because he could talk on the mic and he has these famous quotes. Like he says, yeah. Okay, and he says, "Let me talk to you," and he's getting over the crowd. He does have a vest like Stone Cold wears. Stone Cold used to wear a vest. He kind of walks like The Rock, kind of, with the swagger in the way he walks. He does. Okay, but nobody, the fans cheer for him. We're over the moon with him. He's over mega with the crowd. Fans don't care. They don't care. They're not booing. They don't care. And guess what? Like almost every wrestler, almost every single wrestler, they take an element of their character from a previous wrestler, from a previous time. And they make it themselves. They make their characters themselves, taking elements from other wrestlers that they watch growing up, or spend, or being in the business with. Okay, and This is not just a wrestling guys thing. It's not a wrestling, man. It's not just wrestling, man. Entertainment in general, people have done this. It's normal in entertainment. When we're gonna talk DC and Marvel. Many of the characters in DC and Marvel are rip off of each other's. Happens all the time in entertainment. And Nash's take, I like Kevin Nash. He's very intelligent. He's very smart. But I did not agree with him on this because I can name a bunch of wrestlers, and a bunch of factions. He was one of them. Like the NWO Black and White, that was not a concept that Bischoff thought of himself. Okay, that's just something where that's not something the outsiders and Hogan and Bischoff came out of the blue with. Okay, that was not their idea. The NWO was an idea based off a faction from Japan. There was a faction in Japan at the time, and if Tony was on, he could educate you and me on this about the history of the NWO, how NWO came to be. There was a time where Bischoff got this idea from Japan about a rebellious faction group similar to the NWO, and he wanted to take the idea of that and bring it into WWE. Because remember, there were factions in the 70s and the 80s. Okay, there was factions wrestling before the NWO, but there was no rebellious group. Okay, the Horsemen were not a rebellious group. Okay, they were not a rebellious group. Probably the Heenan family were not a rebellious group. The NWO was really the first rebellious group based off of a rebellious group in Japan. And so Bischoff took the idea from Japan and created the NWO with Hogan, Nash, and Hall, all that. Okay? It happens, right? Evolution, well, the idea of evolution is different. It's about the past, the future, the past, the present, the future. Ric Flair represents the past. Triple H representing the present. Batista and Orton representing the future. But a lot of the mannerisms, a lot of the work, a lot of the stuff Evolution did resembled the Four Horsemen. Them wearing suits, them being their Evolution intro, on the Jumbotron. You see them in limos with women and all of that. Who was that? Right? Who was Evolution a copy of? Evolution is very heavily inspired by the Four Horsemen. Very inspired by the Four Horsemen. Okay? And I'm just talking about factions. This is just factions, guys, I'm talking about right here. Okay? I could go on and on and on and say who's ripped off each other in wrestling, man. Who's taking inspiration from who? From this wrestler, taking inspiration from the previous wrestler. I could go on and on. And I'm pretty sure Degrassi could do the exact same thing. If he's in the chat, he could name me a bunch of wrestlers that copied other wrestlers and took inspiration from other wrestlers to make their own. Ric Flair was not the original Nature Boy. Let's remember that. Ric Flair may be more popular than Buddy Rogers, but he's not the original Nature Boy. Buddy Rogers was the original Nature Boy. Okay? He literally stole the nickname the Nature Boy from Buddy Rogers. How? Let's remember. Hogan. You think Hogan came up with the Hulkamania idea? No, he took a lot of inspiration from the recently passed Graham, right? Billy Graham, right? Same with Ventura. Ventura took some inspiration from Billy Graham. Look at the stuff Hogan wore. Very inspirational from Billy Graham. He took some of the stuff from Billy Graham. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. Those are two. Ric Flair and okay? Ric Flair took from Buddy Rogers. Hey, Sting, Cruel Sting. Who is Cruel Sting? Who is Cruel Sting copying? Yeah, not a wrestler. Obviously not a wrestler, but he was copying another form of entertainment. He was copying the Crow. Okay? And they did not get sued, huh? You know, WCW. You know they did not get sued by who comic book company created the Crow? Was it the comic book? It doesn't matter whether the movie or the show. Comic book company did not sue Sting. Did not sue WCW. And if you didn't know, Hogan had to pay Marvel. I think Hogan had to pay Marvel to use the word Immortal Hulk, right? If I'm correct, or WWE had to. One of those, because Hulk is also called the Immortal Hulk, and Hogan is also referred to Immortal Hulk Hogan, but he had to pay like incentives or something to Marvel to use the Immortal Hulk Hogan. And there's other wrestlers that copy from other wrestlers, man. Okay? I mean, Scott Hall, Razor Ramon was basically inspired by Scarface, Al Pacino's Scarface. Kevin Nash with Oz. I don't know. Where's inspired by Wizard of Oz? Like seriously, that's not a good. That's not a good. That's not something good to bring up. That was something I should not bring up. That was terrible. That was a terrible gimmick for Nash. But you get my idea. It happens, guys. Gimmicks get stolen. Gimmicks don't get stolen. They get expired, and wrestlers of the future years, present future years, take inspiration from wrestlers of the past years. Okay? Sports, it happens like that in sports. Hey, future athletes always look to past athletes that inspire them to get into sports. They take, okay? And it happens all the time, man. Something stupid. Okay, I gotta see that when that pops up. Oh, really? So he didn't sue. Yeah. So I don't think he sued. WCW for the Crow thing. And this Nash saying is this fun? I just find it ridiculous because he's been in the business for years and years. Why is he like? It's like he's forget. It's like he's not oblivious. Nash is not oblivious or naive. He's not. If you listen to Nash talk, he's very intelligent. You could tell. There's a lot of. Okay, he's very intelligent. But if you listen to him, but this is surprising because he's not an oblivious person. He's not naive in this. He's not. It's just to me, this is kind of surprising for him to say this, knowing he's been in the business and knowing in the business, wrestlers, creators, promoters always did this kind of stuff. Like, yeah, like, so what? It's a ripoff. Is it because since Ric Flair is a legend and Hogan's, oh right, nice, yeah. So he's getting a lot of money for the Bill Skarsgård movie. Oh, it's Bill Skarsgård, right? The remake. So it's Nash is like, I wonder if it's because Ric Flair. I wonder if he gives a pass. If he's giving a pass to Ric Flair and Hogan for copying gimmicks because Ric Flair and Hogan are legendary, but this guy is not. Or Rock and Austin is legendary. Hell, The Rock, you know what? Good for The Rock. Because when The Rock came in, if he had that gimmick, the gimmick he came in as his first name is the father and his last name is his grandfather, if he kept a gimmick for his career, he would never be champion, he would never be popular, and I guarantee you, he would never be in Hollywood. Okay? The WWE wanted to give him that. To be inspired by his ancestry, his father and grandfather. And it actually hurt him. In that sense, it worked the opposite. And he knew it. And WWE finally knew it. Okay? You don't think the Young Bucks are inspired by the Walkers, the Hardy Boys, and Shawn Michaels? The super kick stuff that every wrestler is able to do. Okay? That was inspired by Shawn Michaels. And Shawn Michaels has inspired people to do the super kick. Now, the super kick, obviously now, is not a finishing move because everybody uses it as a move now, but a lot of them were inspired by Shawn Michaels using that move. And so a lot of wrestlers steal moves from other past wrestlers. You don't call them out. I just feel like Nash is selectively selecting this guy all night because he sees this guy's getting over, inspired by The Rock and Austin, but he's forgetting that guys he's been working with, that he's worked with in the past, did the exact same thing. Okay? And you know something? Sting could easily be in like WCW's Ultimate Warrior. Okay? They were kind of, if you really think about it, they could have been the exact same kind of gimmick. But you know what the difference between Sting and Warrior? Sting loved the business. He was safe. He wanted to work. Right? Warrior just cared about himself. He didn't really love the business. Nah. That's the difference. But Sting could have easily been a Warrior. Easily. And I'm talking about the early days of Sting. The surfer Sting. The beach blonde hair Sting. You know, when he was coming out, part of Horseman. All right, that's enough about that. I mean, I'm just surprised. I'm just surprised Nash is saying this because he's been in the business and he has seen a lot of stuff. His time in WWE, WCW, where there's a bunch of people, his co-workers, his colleagues, were rip-offs of each other. He's worked with the two of the best in the world, Flair and Hogan. Two of the biggest names in the world. And I'll finish with this. Two of the biggest names in the world, in wrestling world. Well, okay. Hogan definitely. People who know Flair is. I'm gonna take the Hollywood aspect out. Rock is, but Batista, Rock, and Cena. I'm gonna take that acting out of it. But I mean, the wrestling world, Flair's up there, right? Flair's up there. But like they took. But I'm just surprised. I'm just shocked. So what if the guy's getting over? I bet you Stone Cold and Dwayne Johnson, if you ask him about LA Knight and how over he is and how there's some characteristics of their characters put into one, I bet you $100. I know Dwayne Johnson would be fine with it. Dwayne Johnson would be fine with it. And Stone Cold would be fine with it too. I guarantee you they'd be fine with it. Okay, let's move on. I don't know. I'm just dumbfounded. Is it dumbfounded? I'll just say flabbergasted by Nash's comments. Okay. We are getting close to SummerSlam, and this angle on SmackDown, main topic, as it says in my title, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, SummerSlam 2023. Yes, they're gonna have a match at SummerSlam 2023. It's pretty much gonna be done. It's pretty much right. I think it's been setting up, but it was this segment, Madison Square Garden. It was a 40-minute segment. Okay. A segment was named, right? The segment was called The Trial for the Tribal Chief. So they put Roman Reigns on trial, basically, right? Were evidence of how the Roman Reigns was treating the Usos and everybody around him like garbage, like he was garbage and being manipulative, being abusive to them. You see stuff like that. And Roman Reigns, like, you see Roman Reigns looking at the video and it's like, that's what you're thinking me? You see me in my bad moments? And then you see him start to looks like he's crying, getting all upset and crying. Man, you think I want to be the tribal chief? It's not because I want to be the tribal chief, it's because I have to be the tribal chief to support your family, support your I have five kids at home. To support them, it's because I have to. I don't want to be the tribal chief. If you want to be the tribal chief, okay. So what happens is Roman Reigns goes on his knees, right in front of Jey Uso, crying, looking all upset, like begging, all that, saying groveling. Looks like he's groveling in front of his cousin, but it was just a ruse. All that stuff about him, like it was like it's like an intervention when we have an intervention for someone, and that person finally realizes, oh my God, you're right, you're all right, and he starts breaking down. In this case, Roman Reigns, that was kind of what it was supposed to be like, but Roman Reigns just basically tricked them, deceived them, and what he did was he was fake crying. He was fake being upset, right? To get Jey and Jimmy to think he's serious. And when he low blowed Jimmy and all brawl broke out. It was crazy. What happened was Solo and Roman got the upper hand. They beat the shit out of Jimmy Uso right in front of Jey because they had Jey kind of tied up to the ropes. They really beat the shit out of Jimmy Uso. They put him through a table. They hit him with the steps a few times. Really beat the shit out of him. They wanted to hurt Jey. They wanted to hurt Jey emotionally and physically. And by hurting him emotionally, which is obviously beating the shit out of his twin brother, who has been taken to the hospital, kayfabe, taken to the hospital. They get treated in a medical facility. For some reason, WWE doesn't like to say hospital. They like to say medical facility. Okay? And this segment went for 30 to 40 minutes. Like, yeah, it was a pretty good segment. It was a Madison Square Garden, and WWE wants to do something major at Madison Square Garden in New York. And afterwards, all the show was going on, Jey Uso was on his way returning to Madison Square Garden to confront the Tribal Chief. So the Tribal Chief got word of this. Tribal Chief decided to meet Jey Uso in the ring. Jey Uso came through the crowd. And this time he got the upper hand on Roman and Solo. But Roman did not have the belt with him. And so Jey Uso took saw the titles on the mat and raised it up with his hand, right? Raised it up. And he's looking down on it. It's like, basically saying this is the only thing you love. Like Roman, he didn't say anything. He was intense, but he didn't say anything. But you could tell by him looking at the title, he wants the title, because taking the title away from Roman Reigns will completely destroy Roman Reigns emotionally in the inside. But you could tell the only thing Roman Reigns really cares about, he can use his bloodline, his family shit as something he as an excuse, but he really doesn't care about them. Obviously, the only thing he really cares about is the belt, right? The title. And once he loses that, that's when everything goes wrong for him. Everything, right? Nothing could get worse. Actually, it could get worse. He could be seen as a loser, stuff like that. But that's the only thing. And taking away what's most matters to him is what Jey wants to do. And that's the match you're going to have at SummerSlam. It's going to be for the WWE title at SummerSlam, WWE Championship, the SmackDown one at SummerSlam. Now, this pay-per-view is 3 to 4 weeks away. Okay? But I don't think Jey Uso is going to dethrone Roman Reigns. But I kind of hope so. Because after that beating that gave his brother, Jay's twin brother Jimmy, I kind of hope Roman loses at SummerSlam. And we all the fans want to hope Roman loses at SummerSlam, right? Obviously I'm going to pick Roman here, but I do want to hope he loses, okay? Because with some stories that involve that kind of stuff, where beatdowns, hurting a loved one, seriously, stuff like that, you really want the person responsible to get their ass kicked, right? And there's a saying in the 70s and 80s territories where, and Degrassi could probably agree with me, the villain, people did not come to see the baby face most of the time. They came to see the villain lose. The villain lose because they really hate the villain. And when the villain loses, title or a big match, the crowd erupts. This is definitely one of those times that could happen. But I don't think it's going to happen. But Roman Reigns has been the champion for 2.5 years, almost 3 years, and they're waiting for a perfect time because there will be the time he loses his titles. Whoever is going to make a major star of the babyface because it has to, right? It has to. Whoever throws him for those titles, you have to make him a major babyface. You cannot destroy or not continue building, not making a strong babyface, or not making him a second fiddle, or not making him go back to the mid-carder on a babyface who dethrones Roman Reigns. The Roman guy who dethrones a 3-year champion has to be eventually a major babyface or a major babyface right now. Okay? Let me give you an example. Hey Anthony, let me give you an example. Which wrestler? Let me give you an example. Who was a good one? I don't know. I can't give you one. I guess. I guess maybe Goldberg. Even though Goldberg was red hot and was undefeated, him against Hogan, but Hogan had that title for Hogan had that title for a year from 97 to 98. He did lose in 97, but he got it back like a week later against Luger. I guess stuff like that. Even though Goldberg was he kind of was a major star, he still wasn't main event level yet until he defeated Hogan. I guess. I don't know. But this storyline is going to be great. August 5th is SummerSlam. I think August 5th. And it is a rumored match. Actually, I think it's confirmed. Let me see all the confirmed matches for SummerSlam. Okay. No, nothing's confirmed for SummerSlam yet, but I'm looking at matches on the potentially on the card. Okay. Okay. So yeah. Actually, he is. Yeah, surprisingly, he is. I don't like it. I don't like Logan Paul, but I gotta be frank with you guys. I gotta be really honest here. He's actually pretty good in the ring. So okay. So that match isn't official yet, but you know it's gonna happen. It wasn't accepted. Okay, the Jey Uso Roman Reigns match hasn't been accepted yet, but will be accepted, right? Now we're gonna get at SummerSlam. We're gonna get Cody versus Brock Lesnar for match 3, third match, and it's rumored there'll be a special stipulation to this match, like a blow-up match. A blow-up match is a classic Dusty Rhodes kind of match, his style of match, right? It's something Cody Rhodes is very old school in some aspects, so I can see why you want to do his grandfather's specialty. That's father's specialty. This this match, I don't know if I'm looking forward to this match. Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler. Now the reports are that Wanda is on after SummerSlam. She might be leaving WWE, and rumor is she might go back to UFC. And I think if she goes back to UFC, she gets her ass whipped, killed. Okay, I don't think she's good as any woman in the UFC right now. When she ran UFC in the women's division, the women were not really good to her competitors until she faced some really good women and she got her ass whipped. Okay? Now the women in UFC are leaps and bounds better than her era of UFC. But that's the rumor. After SummerSlam, she might go back to UFC. I don't know. Like, she hasn't really done anything since being in WWE. Like, WWE is the only thing that's keeping her relevant right now. But she's gonna face Shayna Baszler, and I find it strange though because they both suck as a babyface. I'll let you guys know. They both suck as a babyface, and they're both very bad on the mic. They're very similar. Like, okay, they're very similar. I mean, they're both basically their gimmicks are both MMA fighters, obviously, but oh fuck Jake Paul. But they're both very similar. Okay. And I don't know. I don't know. They both can't be babyface because they both suck. They're better off as heels, but I don't know who'll be the babyface in this because is it Wanda because she's the one that got turned on by Shayna, or would it be Shayna because the stuff she was saying on Raw confronting Ronda saying I was here in WWE longer before. I had to go through the grind. I had to go through NXT for years. I had to travel on the road lot more than you do. I had to put up the mat because in NXT, the superstars, the NXT superstars, developmental superstars. What she mean by that is that when they travel to other cities on a loop for house shows, they don't have a ring crew that sets up the mat, the turnbuckles, all that stuff. The development and the superstars of NXT do that themselves. It's an old school kind of thing. Obviously, on the main roster, on SmackDown and pay-per-views, they have the ring crew that set up the match, that make them set up the match. But on NXT, they have the talent do it. The talent. And Shayna's basically saying, I had to do all that, do that, to go through the grind. And where Ronda, on the other hand, just walks right in and gets a main event WrestleMania match and gets automatic title shots. And obviously, it's a jealousy angle. Obviously, I can see why, because Ronda Rousey, very popular, obviously. But I don't know. I don't know who's a babyface in this because they both suck as a babyface. They're better off as heels. Maybe Wanda could go back to movies. No, I'm kidding. Wanda should not go back to movies. Okay. I'm kind of doing a one down. I guess in this way, I'm kind of doing a one down of the weekly review. But other some matches. Gunther versus Drew McIntyre. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that match. It's gonna be a hard fought match between the two big men. Logan Paul is gonna face Ricochet. This is just gonna be a. This match is just gonna be high flying flips kind of match, and I don't expect anything big. Like there're gonna be some great spots, but there's no major implications. Nothing coming out of this match. I don't know. I don't know if this helps Ricochet or Logan Paul. I mean, it's good for Ricochet to get some exposure with a celebrity, but like, really, is this? I don't know. I mean, for Logan Paul, this is kind of a downgrade from facing Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, if you ask me. But whatever. There might be a triple threat match for the SmackDown Women's Championship of Asuka, Charlotte Flair, and Bianca Belair. Based on what happened on New York in Madison Square in the week before, nah, I don't think he'll win. No. In the week before, yeah, there's a good chance it'll be a triple threat match between Asuka, Charlotte, and Bianca. And I'm gonna look. I think that's gonna be one of the matches I look forward to one of the most because they're all three of them are great in the ring, all great personalities, all have beef with each other. It's gonna be one of those matches where you got to look forward to watching to, man. It's gonna be great. I do think Asuka would probably get the win there. It's just how I see it going, right? It's just how, whatever. Now, okay, Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch will probably happen at SummerSlam. Okay. Their blow-off match. Trish, obviously, legend. Becky, obviously, might be the most popular female superstar ever in wrestling history. And she's definitely legend. She will be a legend once she's done wrestling. And she'll go in the Hall of Fame. This match, you got Zoe Stark involved. And so, yeah. And apparently on Raw tonight, Becky Lynch might be supposed to be wrestling Zoe Stark, but the match might be pulled because she's nursing an injury and she might not be cleared. But according to reports, that could change later. That could change. It could be a Showtime decision, actually. Let me see. I almost have a game time decision, but this is wrestling. There's no game time decision. It's Showtime decision. It's up in the air due to injury. So it could happen or could not happen. We'll see. And now for some other potential SummerSlam matches. For Rhea Ripley's title, the rumor is that maybe Raquel Rodriguez, who's the women's tag team champion, maybe in the line to face Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam. And look, Natalya and Rhea Ripley actually had a good title match last week in Raw. It was really, really good. It was not a squash. She did not squash Natalya. It was actually a pretty good match. And there was, even though we know she wasn't going to win, that match made you think Natalya actually had a chance to win. Because she did some moves, some submissions that she did a sharpshooter. You would think, they made you think that she actually could pull this off. And that's what you like about wrestling at times, right? Where maybe sometimes you think the underdog could pull this off, right? The unexpected. Now, okay, yeah. So that's all the matches so far. We'll get the more SummerSlam stuff as more detail comes out. As more stuff on Raw comes out. We'll find out more from Raw. What happens? The progress to SummerSlam. Okay. Oh, right. I can't believe Asteroid City is already coming out on digital, man. Like 2 weeks after its release. Well, or 2 or 3 weeks after its release. I'm sorry. Let's see what else. Edge is back. Edge is back. Of course, because SmackDown's coming to Toronto on August 11th. I think August 11th. Yeah, August 11th. And he wants to wrestle in his hometown, the city he is born in. He came back last night, Madison Square Garden. He confronted Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller, I gotta tell you, man, you got to be in the ring with two legends in the span of less than a week. Money in the Bank, you got to spend time in a ring with John Cena. I gotta give you. That's big. That's big. That's not something a rookie gets to do every in WWE. And then in less than a week, you get to spend time in the ring with another legend in Edge. I mean, they might have WWE. That might be a sign they have high expectations and hopes for you. So Edge came on the Grayson Waller's like talk show that he does called the Waller Effect. Edge challenged Grayson Waller to a match. Edge won. Right? Kind of teaching Grayson Waller a lesson. But this is a growth development for Grayson Waller. Because you do not get in the ring. Now, the John Cena thing was a surprise, right? John Cena was in England, London at the time. His wife, I think there was filming going on with something going on there with movie related, and he just happened to be in town, had the time off of that Saturday. So WWE said, why don't you come on and hype up the British, the London crowd? And so he pretty much did a shtick, sucking up to the people like John Cena always does. And he says, how about a WrestleMania in London? Let me hear you out. Now, I did not talk about this last week with DL. I forgot to. So he's pretty much hyping the crowd about WrestleMania in London. Okay? I'll tell you why he did that. I'll tell you two reasons. No, one reason why he did that. AEW beat them out to a big event in London, in England. All out. That sold like 60 to 90,000 tickets. And WWE, obviously, backstage, internally, you can secretly see they're not happy with that. Okay? So they had John Cena do that. To hype up the crowd. Because AEW managed to get to the British market with a bigger event. And to cap it off, Wembley Stadium. If you don't know, it's like the most. It's literally Madison Gardens Arena, but if you get my point, it is literally the Madison Square Arena of England. Okay? That's what it is. And unfortunately, my English fans, I think WrestleMania will do very well in England. No issue there. It will do very well. People will travel there, obviously. I don't think the time zone difference will make a difference. It'll start at 3 p.m. there and will end at 8, maybe 8 p.m., 3 p.m. Eastern time, and go 3 or 4 hours into the 2 nights. I don't think it's a problem there with the time zone, really, right? I watched Money in the Bank and started at 3 p.m. I don't think time is a different problem. The thing you have to understand, though, with WrestleMania, and this pertains to other pay-per-views, WrestleMania, but I'm going to talk about WrestleMania more specifically. Cities bid on it. Okay? Cities, like the Super Bowl, they bid on the location for WrestleMania. Whoever gives them the most money, whoever gives them not just the most money, but what they could build around the area. All right? What the activities, the scenery, stuff like that, what they could do there. When SummerSlam came to Toronto, right? It's not WrestleMania, but SummerSlam came at the perfect time. We had like the Fan Expo at the same time. We had a convention center, stuff like that. The convention center in Toronto is not even far from the arena. Scotiabank Arena is like a 10-minute walk. And so they booked up the convention center where you can meet your superstars to meet and greet with the superstars. And Toronto had right? And Toronto had the waterfront, had all that stuff. WrestleMania, you got to do the exact same thing, man. You got to find space to not just for the, you got to find space. You got to find, it's a big event. And like the same with football, if you do Super Bowl, right? So City is bid on WrestleMania. And 2024 WrestleMania has already been decided. It's already been decided. Okay. That's going to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Okay. That's going to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 2024 is WrestleMania. WrestleMania 40 is going to 2024. Now, WrestleMania 41 has not been settled yet, but there is a front runner. A front runner doesn't mean you're going to get it, but there is a front runner, and the front runner is Minnesota. Well, actually, Minneapolis, Minnesota, at the football stadium, which people are going to say, why are they going to have WrestleMania in the cold city like that? Well, here's the news flash, guys. The Minnesota Vikings Stadium has a roof. Okay? Now, that's for 2025. That's WrestleMania 41. Now, WrestleMania 42 is not settled. So maybe there's a chance for London WrestleMania 42. But I bet you there's already cities very soon preparing bids for WrestleMania 42 in 2026. Now, it could be Nashville, because they're getting a new football stadium, right, being built for their hot football team, right? Nashville could be winning for 2026. But from what I hear with Nashville, they're more likely to go for 2027. But I guarantee you, in the next 5 years, the grass you may like this, Nashville will get a WrestleMania. I guarantee you. So, WWE just doesn't decide which city to go to. Okay? They take, for WrestleMania, they take bids. Whoever gives them the most money and the most access. And London people, I know Wembley holding 90,000. If you don't know, college football stadiums can hold over 100,000. And if you go to right, am I right, guys? College football stadiums hold over 100,000 capacity. Am I right? I know Michigan is like 103,000. I'm pretty sure college football has the capacity over some schools, some universities have the capacity to hold over 100,000. So you guys probably deserve a WrestleMania. It's just that it's not as easy as you think, okay? And it would do well there. There's a bunch of cities in the States. And WrestleMania is usually in end of March or early April. And the one thing people make fun of England for. And you know British people, it's a fact. The one thing we make fun of English people for. I'm not talking about the language, I'm not talking about the teeth. Not English people, but the country itself. It rains a lot. Right? It rains a lot in the UK. So if you have an open stadium in March and April is the beginning of spring. And spring has always been known to be the season where it's supposed to rain, right? Can you imagine if it's pouring during WrestleMania? You have the wrestlers slipping all over everywhere? You can't have that. I'm sorry. I don't mean it, okay? How long have I been going here? 55 minutes. I didn't even realize that, man. Stupid MLB All-Star games almost on. Or the home run derby. Yeah, I'm gonna watch some All-Star batting practice, guys. That's what I'm gonna watch while I talk. Okay. All right. Blood and Guts. Blood and Guts. This is going to be the blow-off match between the Elite and the Blackpool Combat Club on AEW July 19th in Boston, Massachusetts. So far, the Elite consists of Adam Page, Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega. Those are the four, and there's going to be a fifth member. We don't know who that is. It's not going to be Kingston because Eddie Kingston will be busy in New Japan doing a G1 Climax tournament. And on the Blackpool Combat Club, no Brian Danielson because he's injured and he'll be out sometime. So it's going to be Takashka, Claudio, formerly known as Cesaro, Rita Yula, and John Moxley. So each team does not have a fifth member. Okay, so there's rumors of who the fifth member for each team might be. For the Blackpool Combat Club, it might be somebody from Japan, Shota Umo. I'm not 100% sure if that's the case. It could be. I'm not sure. Okay. For the Elite, I'm pretty confident I know who the fifth member is. It's gonna be longtime friend and tag team partner of Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi. What happened was when Dynamite went off the air, Kenny Omega started a promo to the crowd, hinting of who the fifth member is going to be. I think it's going to be Kota Ibushi. I really do think it's going to be Kota Ibushi. I'm not going to say I'm definite on it. I'm not going to say I'm 100% sure, but I'm more certain than Shota Umo, whatever his name is. Well, I'm more certain with Kota Ibushi than Shota Umo. I'm just saying that. Okay, so I do think it's going to be. I think Kota Ibushi is going to join the Elite, teaming up with Omega, Hangman, and the Young Bucks, aka the Hung Bucks. Yeah, I did say Hung Bucks. And yeah, I want to. You know what? What else I want to talk about? Wrestling Weekly Review. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna do my best. Stuff I want to talk about for Wrestling Weekly Review on Raw. I don't know what happened on Raw. I don't know. Dynamite. Oh, okay. I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna end it here. Be a short episode, hour-long episode. You know what? Show you something funny. I want to show you something funny. Show you something funny for your comic book fans. I don't know if you saw this, but I saw this the other day. I just want to show you. Saw this the other day. Unfortunately, it didn't work there. Okay. There we go. Kenny Omega is Captain America. Okay. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, comment below. Yeah, we'll do this again next week. Maybe we'll do something fun Thursday, wrestling or sports related. I don't know. But yeah, take care, guys. I hope I don't get hit for that, though. And I hope I don't get a copyright for that. But yeah, take care.